Jennings Podcast, Episode 8, with Jobey from Norwich Screen Art.
Hey, I can see you.
You're right.
Yeah, good. I'm going to turn you up so I can hear you nice and loud. Yeah, really good. I like that I've got your studio in the background and everything.
Yeah, I'm still at work. I've just finished for the day.
Nice.
Stretched quite thin. We're a man down, so I've been kind of like stretched between the office and the print room all day.
Oh, I see. Are you normally in the office? Is that normally your role?
No. So I'm usually in the print room. So there's two of us here. It's me and Joe. Joe does mostly all the emails, invoicing, and then we've got like a vinyl cutting machine in the other room. He'll do all the little
weeding
stuff. Yeah, the weeding and stuff. Yeah, all the shit jobs, and I get to do all the fun screen printing here.
So let me get this right. That your name is Jobey.
My name is Jobey. Yeah.
Is that your like that's just the name you go by? I thought it was your surname when I was doing my research.
Yeah, it is my surname. Yeah. So I'm Dan Jobey, but I go by Jobey, and then Joe is Jonathan, but goes by Joe, and it really confuses all of our customers.
Yeah, it does sound a bit confusing.
But it's quite nice as well because sometimes when we're both jumping on an email and replying to a customer, I can just reply and they just assume Joe is short for Jobey, so we can just, And
if you mess anything up, it's Joe's fault. But if you did a good job, it's yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're like, I was trying to do my research on the studio, and it's got a really long history, hasn't it?
It does, yeah. So Norwich Screen Art has been, it's Joe that started it. So Joe started the business in 1982.
Right.
Company, it was just called Screen Art. He was going for a few years sort of round the corner from here. Joined up with this in this location with a sports shop. So it was Norwich Sports. The two of them sort of like combined forces, and there was the press upstairs and then the sports shop downstairs, because sort of like back then, sports teams, you could only really get your printing for your team done through the actual shop. So it kind of made sense for them to make a printing operation through it. So they sort of partnered up, and then they've been here for the last 40 years. I obviously haven't been here for 40 years.
You're not even going to be alive for 40 years, mate.
No. I was born about 10 years after that.
So you're going to be 30 this year?
I'll be 30. Yeah, I'll be 30 in a couple of months.
Well, at least you get to do it without lockdown. Was my 30th in lockdown? No, but it was quiet. Pretty
close.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to do anything anyway. I kind of enjoyed my last two lockdown birthdays.
Did you?
Yeah. No pressure, you can just, maybe do a Zoom quiz or something. But yeah.
I know. Going out's overrated when you're out of your 20s.
Yeah.
So have you taken over the business, or are you sharing it with Joe, or like how's the responsibility go with you?
So we are we're partnered up now here. So I'm a director. I got made a director at the end of 2020. Sort of before that, I was working here as an employee. So basically I was hired as an employee 2018 just like as the screen printer. So I was just here, kind of the dynamic was kind of like Joe would come through with a stack of t-shirts, a posse and a proof, and be like, right, do this, and I'd be like, okay, cool, headphones in, crack it out, there you go, boss. And then when the pandemic hit, the whole dynamic sort of like completely changed for us. Shit sort of hit the fan here a little bit before that. So it was just the two of us, and I think must have been January or February 2020. Joe completely fucked his knee to the point where he's got two fake knees anyway. Completely fucked his knee to the point where they had to rip it out Put a new one
Yeah.
in, which just didn't take, and
It's
then
grim, isn't it?
yeah, he was sort of held up in hospital for quite a long time. This was all while the pandemic was in its early
So
kind
you're
of
there, like,
stages.
as an employee going to work, absolutely shitting
Yeah, like
it.
like I had to like my ex at the time, I had to get her in to kind of just get an extra hand because I didn't, trying to get the job done without Joe. We were hearing this kind of like news about coronavirus on the radio, and we've been like, do you think we should be worried about this? And I was like, nah, it should be all right. I think like keep an eye on it. But yeah, I mean, Joe was in hospital completely out of it. And then sort of came to, and it was lockdown, and it was like, for him, it was like 28 days later, he had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, I know, it's very surreal. There was
yeah.
a part there where I kind of fobbed off COVID because
Yeah.
I was importing some stuff from China,
Yeah.
and then there was like someone said something like, "Oh, don't import that; it will have coronavirus on it," and I was like,
Right.
"Oh, piss off!"
Bullshit,
That is bullshit. But
yeah.
if I'm honest, I didn't really believe that it would come over,
No.
and then obviously it did. So were you just given like the keys and the responsibility, and like surely you didn't have like logins and know how to even
I didn't know how
do that
to
office
do anything.
bit?
I didn't know how to do anything. I'd never spoken to a customer before, really. I'd never like written an invoice. I had no idea how the vinyl machine worked. I was the screen printer. I knew how to make screens, set them up, print, go home at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it was like a real trial by fire as well, because we had this huge job I'm doing again now, actually, for like one of the unis where they do these like huge sporting events where it's like I'll screen print the fronts of everything, but then every single team has an individual name and number on the backs of them all.
Oh no,
So,
vinyl, like
yeah,
crest.
vinyl. Yeah. So that all need to be like cut and weeded, and
even getting all the sizing in all the piles and stuff is like a mind game if you haven't got much space.
It was an absolute nightmare. So it was a real kind of like trial by fire. And prior to this, Joe had put the business up for sale.
Oh right.
He was on his way to retirement. He wants to retire, and it was always sort of like I knew that when I got taken on, and the condition was there's a business for sale, but also an employee comes with it. So I was like for sale with the business. Like
sweeten the deal.
I was like, okay, cool. I'll just get a new boss, and it'll be fine. But then after I sort of like managed everything while the pandemic was happening and while he was in hospital, he sort of came out the other side of it and was just sort of like, do you want it? Like,
that might not have ever happened because some people find it difficult to relinquish the responsibilities.
Oh, of course.
Like handing over your email address is horrendous, and like, oh no, that customer will only speak to me. I had it as well. I didn't give over that responsibility for years.
There's two of you over there, isn't there? It's you and your partner.
Yeah. And then we've had like employees here and there, and like long-term work experience people. Well, they're not really work experience. They're just like temporary staff. But I didn't give her an email account for years. Yeah. And that's not just because I haven't got like crazy control issues. It's just like I thought no one else could talk to the customers.
Well, yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, so it's actually probably worked out good that you got thrown into it, so you learned quicker.
And we've got a really good dynamic as well. And I mean, it's pretty laid back here, and a lot of our customers tend to think that we're father and son because of that age gap, and it's just sort of like because it's a bit of a ramshackle little shop in Norwich, and they're a bit like, oh yeah, this must be your boy. I'm like, no, it's not my dad.
Yeah, I did accidentally make an assumption because on Instagram, because I was looking around and it was the first time I'd seen you guys, but you were putting up the sign. So then I was like, oh, they're putting up a sign, they're relatively small. And it was because I'd been looking around the corner from you at this fish and chip shop that went up for sale, and I
Yeah.
was going to buy it and
Right.
turn it into a little screen printing studio.
Oh, nice.
So it's like I was going through that in my head, like, oh yeah, that's my plan for a new studio. So you
Yeah.
must be new. And then you're like, no, we've been here since the 80s. And I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, no, I got that wrong.
Well, this is
I didn't want to offend you.
No. Well, this is the thing. Like, we only joined the internet, I guess, like in the last couple of years. I mean, I had a look on our Instagram today. I thought it was a bit sooner than that, but it was October 2020 was when we first got on.
That is quite late for
yeah.
Basically, when you got in charge, when you got the reins, did you just start it?
Basically, yeah. It was like once we'd had that conversation of like, do you want it? Are you serious about, running this? I was like, okay, cool. The first step was just like, let's just make an Instagram page, because we, our main customer base is Norwich businesses, obviously, and like we've had, we do a lot of the schools, a lot of like the events that happen around here. When it wasn't until the pandemic hit and all of these events and stuff started dropping off and orders were getting cancelled, and it was like these big orders that kind of like see us through the year.
And you anticipate coming through and you do all your planning. You're like, well, I've got that summer party and I've definitely got that festival. And
yeah, exactly. That'll see us through July because we're gonna have all of that. And it was sort of like, oh, okay, they're all gone. No one sort of knows who we are. And then made us an Instagram and picked up a whole kind of new kind of genre of customer, I guess. A lot of the little clothing labels and stuff, a lot of tattoo artists who ended up picking up. That was sort of, because all the shops were closed, they were kind of like, I'll just design some shirts, good way of getting an income,
Everyone had to just quickly pivot, didn't they? So tattooists are really good. And you got loads of breweries in Norwich.
Yeah, we do a lot of breweries. One of our biggest customers is one of the breweries here and stuff, and like they do all of they've got the brewery, then they've got all of their pubs. So we do all the staff shirts, but then do a hell of a lot of retail as well. So we sell like hoodies and tote bags and shirts for them as well.
So, like thinking about your shop, is it from one of the pictures that I saw? It's kind of like on like a kind of high streety area, and then there's 3 shops kind of connected. Yeah. So you kind of like bought 3 shops and then just merged them together.
Over the years, Joe, I think originally it was all in this one room with like the press upstairs, and then like the one for sale, like the one next door came up for rent. So it was like, right, literally just like knock through the wall into that. Then so we've got 3 in a row, which is like the office in one, and then where we keep all the orders that are ready to collect, because we get like a lot of walk-ins as well. A lot of people come and collect their orders. So that's in the first room. The second room, we've got like the posi printer and the vinyl cutter, heat presses, things like that. And then this room is all the screen printing. And then upstairs in here, I've got like a little dark room, and there's like a little.
Where do you like collect all your boxes?
Oh God, they're just everywhere. I mean, there's like a pile over there. They're just.
You're sitting on a box.
Yeah.
The computer's on a box.
There's like, it's just, it is a bit of a mess. But it's kind of nice. Like when I was just the employee here, I was like, you spend so many hours in the same room, and you're like, oh well, if this was mine, I would do this differently. I'd probably put that over there, and I have like moved things around quite a lot and like made a few upgrades, especially to this room, just because it's like that's the room I'm working in.
Yeah. So you got like you said you had the dark room and stuff upstairs. So
we've got the dark room upstairs, which is sort of like your real DIY. We've just built some fake walls. With like a black curtain, and our washout booth is a bathtub with like a bit of sheet of plastic behind it.
Yeah, why not? because all your screens are this size, so
exactly.
Who
They'll
gives
all
a shit?
fit.
Yeah.
So we're not doing anything bigger than the sort of A2 size screens. So
Yeah. We kind of work the opposite way around. So we used to do a lot of large format flatbed printing. So our screens were enormous. So we had to go for the biggest stuff, and now we really only use like little ones. So in my head, I'm like, I could get a lot more in there if I just went and got like a little LED one instead of that enormous metal halide one that takes up half the room.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think I can let it go because I want the ability to like go back and do my art prints. So I can't
you got to keep it there in case you want to do like some crazy giant posters or something.
Yeah, because I couldn't bear giving any to someone else to do my posters for me.
You sell a lot of pre-exposed screens, don't you? Do you not sell any huge ones to post?
Not really. It's very rare that someone will do that. I don't send them through the post anymore.
No,
because they're so expensive to get replaced if like something happens, and obviously they're quite delicate. But I do a lot of like the 20 by 24s and 23 by 31 inch ones. They're mainly t-shirt printers. So I've stuck to those. It's amazing how many people you find out about by doing that, because some of them are printing on like circuit boards and glass and all sorts of stuff that you can imagine actually gets printed. Most of them t-shirts though. We get a lot of people asking if we'll do them pre-exposed screens, and I just send them all to you. Oh, do you? Thanks.
No.
Yeah, but then
not. I've got enough to do. I don't need to do your screens as well. Because we've got the art schools. We have like all the art students coming in, because they used to be Print to the People, like just around the corner.
Oh god, I love Print to the People. We used to do their car art. That's it. The art car people used to come up and do it, even though it's bloody far away.
Redwell Brewery.
Yeah,
cool.
Like if they ever sorted that out again, we would drop everything and go up again. It was so cool. Really enjoyed the vibe. Like that's why I'm very envious of you guys in Norwich. It's like my favorite city. So
your in-laws live here, don't they?
So they do. I forget people watch these videos, so they know all these details about me, and I'm like, when did I say that? That's right.
Well, you should pop in and see us next time you're about.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd really like that. Yeah, I always think like, have you seen? This is just completely random, but have you seen that program, The Hunted, where they like set someone off into the countryside and then MI5 go and chase them down? I think I'd be really good because I just go around all the studios.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, can I work here for the day? Like washing screens, and I hide out in the washout booths.
Get you all marked up.
It's not very favourable that I'm like, hi, it's Chessie from Squeegee. Didn't give me 2 seconds, but hey ho. And then I see you've also started on TikTok, which is pretty awesome.
So
you open that can of worms.
No idea how it works, but I'm on it. I sort of put some videos up. I put one up today. Made our first reel the other day. Yeah, reels go so well, don't they? Compared to normal ones. So I put like videos up on the Instagram and stuff. And I made the first reel, and I checked our insights, and our reach has gone up by 600%. I know. I'm telling people, it's crazy. But I was like, when I sit on my phone scrolling, I'd sit there for a minute watching someone printing something. Like you just get stuck watching it. Exactly. I'm really impressed by like how I was on a 4-color press for a while, but I struggled a lot with the variety of jobs that I was able to do. Yeah. But you seem to just be doing everything on that Chameleon, regardless of what the hell it is. I love this. I love it. So it's the Chameleon. We're actually in the process of upgrading it to a 6-color. So it has actually got the capacity to just add an extra 2 arms. So we've got them on order. So yeah, we'll get a 6 color in here, which would be nice.
Yeah, but it kind of forces you to take any image and be able to divide it by 4 screens.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and then do you know, like the auto people, they're always like, yeah, okay, so you need underbase, these colors, then you need like a white spot color highlight on top, and I'm like, can't you just let the underbase shine through and like let the shirt color be one of the colors and use some discharge ink or something? But they don't have to think like that because they haven't got the constraints.
I've got
it's interesting.
I got a really nice little 5 color job over there that I managed to do with the 4 color press. Because you can just like separate them up, and
I got along with that for a long time. It was the only things. The only reason I went for this is just that the patterns move. So that's all I really needed. So I just went for the cruiser because it was, you know, off the shelf and easy to get my hands on. But I think it probably makes you a better. So do you do all the artworking as well? You do it?
Yeah,
do you do the separations?
Joe does it mostly. I hate it. I'm not very tech savvy. It's one of those things that it's like, I know I'm going to have to learn at some point. But I'm just, you know, so used to Joe just coming through and plonking a load of posies down for me. We've got an apprentice now as well.
Oh, cool.
So we took him on at the middle of last year for that, you know, that Kickstarter program that the government was doing.
Yeah, I applied for that and they didn't give me one, but I'm glad you got one.
Well, you have to have. We had someone else working here part time at the time as well, so you have to have like 1 Kickstarter for every 3 employees. So we managed to get him in. Just had it was like 18 to 24-year-olds. So we had this, like, he was 19 at the time. We interviewed like a few sort of teenagers that came in, and they were a bit sort of like, I just want a job, basically. I was like, okay, cool. Do you have any idea about what we do here? They're like, not really. And then Adam showed up, and he's like,
there's t-shirts on the wall, guys.
He's like, and he comes in, he's like, wow, this place is amazing. And I was like, do you have any idea about screen printing or t-shirt printing? And he's like, you know, this proper like metalhead guy. He's like, no, but I have like 100 band t-shirts, so I love them. I know how they're made. I was like, cool, you're in. We got him in, and he's finished the Kickstarter now, and we've signed him up to this other like apprenticeship scheme. So he's going to be apprentice here for 3 years.
Nice.
Like, 1 day a week he's going to be doing college, and they'll be teaching him things like art separation, like color separation and stuff.
Bloody hell, brilliant. Wow, so, you really landed on your feet there, because you also get, like, if I read it right, you also get like a lump sum grant if they stick with you and stuff.
Yeah. So we got
help out.
We got a lump sum, like a grant, which was good, and then we got like, so the Kickstarter, the job centre paid for him, and then now it's like we've decided to take him on, so like we're paying him, and it's really good.
But at least you test them, train them without much.
Well, exactly. And we said to him at the beginning, like, we can't promise you that there's going to be a job here, because obviously, like, you know, what was it, middle of 2021? We don't know how busy we're going to be. You could essentially create your own job, because if it's like, if we have this second pair of hands, we could get busier to the point where we can have people here full time. That's really cool. It worked out, so it's really good having him here.
So would you always stay in that location, you think, because you get all the walk-ins and like
I mean,
history
I wouldn't want to move out of here, to be honest. And like, there's like, you're a bit constrained with the space. Because like, but this shop, this unit goes quite far back that way. So I think I'm eventually going to have a 1-arm single color, single station press over there, so that 2 of us can be printing at the same time. But I wouldn't want to leave this location. Like, it's in NR3, which is a neighborhood that I love here. Like, I live here, and it's my favorite kind of area. We the local paper just wrote a thing saying our road is like the trendiest.
Oh really? Oh, because all the hipsters.
Yeah,
But you're in the middle of it, so you must be like the poster boy of
They
hipsters.
phoned us up and were like, the local paper phoned us up and were like, you've been there since the 80s, like how does it, how different is it? And when Joe first opened this place, it was like everything was boarded up, and like, so these kind of buildings are little half shops because there was no shops open. They had to turn them into flats, but there's something to do with like the conservation. They had to have a shop front.
Yeah.
So they're all like weird little units that aren't really good for anyone. There's no access or anything, and they're just sitting there. But there's loads of like really cool. So we've got like a vintage clothing shop next to us.
Nice.
And a vintage furniture place. Really cool cafe up the road. And then a little bit further up, there's like a really cool like plant and like gift shop.
Yeah,
thing.
like
so people,
plants now. That's like a thing that you go and buy a shop, like not at the garden centre. Like there isn't a garden centre in Newby now.
You go to like a cool gift shop and get all your cool plants. But yeah,
I know.
Great for us because people come up the road for the retail, and then our press is right up in the window. So people kind of, it's like what you do with your live screen printing. It's just like people will just come and watch the
monkey in the zoo.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Really
yeah, there's the kids banging on the glass.
Yeah. That's really funny. Yeah. So yeah, well, have you always been in Norwich, or like you've grown up there? Or?
So I'm from Essex.
Oh, right.
I went to uni in Cambridge.
That sounds like you're incredibly intelligent now you're saying that.
I didn't go to Cambridge Uni. I went to an art school and I dropped out. So
you're in our club then, not
no, I'm an art school dropout. So I sort of moved to Cambridge, went to uni. Like I'd started screen printing in college, but it was like, because I was like writing comics and stuff, and I was in a punk band, so I was like wanting to like print t-shirts for my comics and for my band. But back then it was like you'd give this technician your artwork and they'd take it away to like a magic room and then come back. You've got like a screen, so I had absolutely no idea how it worked.
They didn't even allow you to expose them.
They didn't let me watch. Like, come back, it's all ready for you. So it wasn't until I was at uni when I like got taught the secrets of coating and exposing. But I kind of carried on printing through uni after I dropped out, and like I had like a little setup in my bed sit.
Oh, cool.
I'd like built a little exposure unit with like there's like they're like little lamps that you like put acrylic nails when you're doing your nails, like a little UV bulb thing.
What?
Yeah.
What? I haven't heard of this before. You used a UV nail heater, a nail heater.
Yeah, you like paint your fingernails and then you put them under this little UV bulb.
Yeah.
I basically bought one of those, took it to bits, and then had like a little UV.
Oh my gosh, that's so innovative.
Yeah, with like a towel thrown over it to keep it all dark.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was doing, patches for bands, like all the patches that punk bands kind of like sell, and you sew on your jacket and that. And I was doing a few t-shirts, and then like poster printing for myself, sort of through that. But I dropped out of uni in Cambridge to become a chef, and then was working as a chef for 8 years, sort of all over the place. One of them being Norwich. Came here for a while. Worked in some kitchens here. Went to Scotland, worked in some kitchens there, and then just sort of like did the little bit of printing on the side. There's like a crew. There's like my friends run a stage at Boomtown Festival.
Oh, right, okay.
A lot of us volunteer there, so I do a lot of crew shirts every year and all this kind of little bit. And then finally came back to Norwich, was working as a head chef in a really awful restaurant, and just sort of like couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I've had enough. Quit. I was like, I don't care what I do. And then literally like a few days later, I get a text from my mate who was working here at the time being like, look, I'm leaving Norwich. Do you want a job? And it was like, he was out, I was in. And then I joined Norwich Screen Art, and then
Yeah. Well, there's similarities, I reckon. I mean, you can tell me, but like between working in a kitchen and working in
oh my
screen
god,
printing,
yeah,
'cause it's like
yeah,
it's like not crazy. It's like high. I've worked as waitresses, and when you go in the kitchen, it's like screaming, effing, and blinding, and then
oh
the
yeah,
door swings back, and
yeah,
you're nice to the customers again. But yeah, I suppose it's like it's quite high pressure. It's physical. You get to be
yeah,
on your feet, working with your hands. So yeah, there's quite a lot of
yeah, 100%. So you're in a like, I mean, this studio especially is very hot in the summer. So you're in a very, very hot, sweaty room. The product you're making, it's like being a line cook. You have to have the same thing over and over again. Everything's got to be consistent. Everything's got to be lined up, folded properly. A lot of cleaning down, which is again same in the kitchen. I still wear my chef's Crocs. So they that would be, I saw the questions that you sent me and the shop hack, and it's not necessarily a hack, but it's definitely my like recommendation to people if they haven't got them already. Get a pair of chef's Crocs. Yes, lovely. These are like, so it's in case you drop hot oil on your foot. They haven't got the holes on them, but it works when you're dropping plaster salt on your feet. You don't get covered in ink. And
that's clever. I didn't know you could do. And have you seen it on I've seen videos of like when doctors wear those, don't they? And they're like, let's put these into 4x4 mode, and they like put the little thing at the back to keep their feet in.
The safety mode, that's it. Put safety on around the back.
Then you get there much faster.
Yeah,
that's really funny. There's just something in it, one of your videos, and this is just me being naive. I don't know how to do it, but do you kind of have like a flash dryer that's normally made for autos, but you've got it like on your manual because it kind of like turns itself on?
It turns itself on. Yeah, it's got like it has a sensor on it that you can set to a certain amount of seconds. So as the pattern goes under, it triggers the sensor and then goes for however long you want.
It just turns itself on.
It's great because when I first started here, they didn't even flash anything, and then there's this like old don't. So I was like, okay, right, got this old dusty old flash dryer that was in the corner of the room covered in dust. I was like, right, we're pulling that out. So I got that set up and stuff, and then it was like, why is there only 3 pallets on this 4-station press?
I know why they're so deep.
Yeah, you know why? So I was like scrambling around again and just saw this like buckled black and I was like, okay, cool, that's done.
And it's still in there. They didn't throw it out. They thought that'll be good for something.
That'll be good. Yeah, no, don't throw that out. I've got this like warped thing, so I was like, right, get rid of that. Got the got a proper flash dryer, got a 4th platter, and I was like, come on, let's start doing things properly. Because even when we do single color prints that don't necessarily need to be flashed, a lot of the stock at the moment is coming in so like cold and damp. It really helps to give them a little blast of heat, get them nice and warm, because it helps with the curing. But like,
that's a good little trick. And you got like a very compact dryer as well, and that's something I can't get my head around either, because I had a little buddy which is even smaller than this one, and I could never get it like hot enough and then like monitor it so that I always thought that you had to get it to like 165 degrees for as long as possible, so it really gets the heat gets all the way through the ink. And I can do that on this one, but then you guys are all like doing these tiny little ones, so you just like get it to 165 and then it doesn't matter.
It just gets to 165. As long as it's up to 165, that does it for us.
For half a second, and then it's done.
Not for half a second,
but like
probably goes through for like a few seconds, about like halfway through, But I'm really kind of like, so all of these, I can see all these like shirts on the wall here. All of these are kind of like, I'm like constantly doing wash tests and stuff, because we used to have this old dryer that was so shit that like you wouldn't notice, but like the kind of like power would fluctuate in it throughout the day. So you'd be doing a huge run of stuff, And then
You're like,
maybe
yeah, that's good.
yeah, that one's great, happy days. But then it's like maybe like 2 out of 5 were not cured, where it's kind of gone up and down throughout the day. So I was kind of like really paranoid. So I'm always like wash testing stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like a new big client comes along that's like,
you're not going to get a second chance.
No, this is potentially could be really good for us. I don't want to like fuck it up right at the beginning, you know.
Have you ever, I don't think you have, but have you ever taken a wet plus sole shirt off the press and like put it in the done pile? And then like just because you're like thinking or like
the other
singing
day,
to some music.
I I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a really nice print. I was really proud of it. I was like, oh, this looks fucking great. Oh,
this is Instagram.
Yeah, this is on the gram. And then like I picked it up off the platen. I called to Joe in the other room. I was like, Joe, check out this print. It's really cool. And he went, oh yeah, that is cool. And then like touched it and like down. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. Like, yeah, so that went straight in the test pile.
Yeah, I'm glad to get one shot off for otherwise that's complete disorder.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's funny. There is like a whole other thing that I want to ask you about, which is like walk-ins and stuff, because we've done our best to repel them because sometimes the studio is being treated kind of like by the general public as like a drop-in center for like chats, and we're like no, we're literally right up against it. We've got 3 hours until the courier comes, and we're trying to be as nice as possible, but then it's so difficult. And then making money off the very small jobs and the stag do's and things, how do you like, would you give advice for other people doing it, or are you looking to? Well,
it's not,
I don't know how you manage it without pulling your hair out or something. But.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I enjoy, and it's obviously not our big, it's not the majority of our money coming in through those little jobs and stuff, but like the majority of our like little vinyl jobs are things like doing a sports team where we will do like a run of like 24, I don't know, sports, however many are in the team. We'll like screen print their badges and their sponsors and everything, and then the backs will be like individual names and numbers. So we can add a little markup for individual names. And again, with like work uniforms, because we do like a lot of like trade companies that want their company logo on the left breast, company logo on the back, and they might want an individual name on all of them.
Right.
So
you do it like, through customization, really. That's like how you make your margins.
That's the margin on that, you know. And then we do have, you know, if someone is kind of like not really sure what they want when it comes to like a team or an event or something, I'll be like, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. We can do a minimum order of 20 for screen printing, take them away. If a new member joins, you can bring that shirt back to me and I will put a name on it for you.
That's a really good tactic. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then it's kind of good. It's, you know, it's nice and friendly on our end and stuff, and we're helping them out. And for me, it's like, I'm not wasting my time. I've now done a run of 20 screen prints. I'm not, you know.
Yeah, it's borderline though, isn't it? Because I think it was, I was up against it because I would literally print on anything. Yeah. Like plastics, metals, anything. So yeah, I suppose like if you're set up for it in the other room and you can just pass on the box and you've got it down.
That's the thing with Joe in the other room. I'll like finish the load of prints and they'll be like, right, there you go, they're ready for names or whatever, like they're ready to go. He'll do the finishing touches and then off they go, you know? and then like, as now you're a director, do you have more of an overview of like targets and things that you have to reach, and like do you have like financial targets that you're trying to hit? It's not so much targets. I mean, we're not, you know, I'm just kind of happy just printing. I'm not really like wanting to like make loads and loads and loads of money. Like as long as like me and Joe can pay each other and then we've got enough to pay the apprentice, I kind of like my main drive now is like trying to find more jobs that I'm going to enjoy. Like, so like, I don't know, a lot of these like clothing labels and stuff that are coming to us with really nice prints and stuff.
Yeah.
But like even the events and the uniforms and stuff like that, it's like, if it's a nice looking design, like I really enjoy it. So that's kind of my, now that I'm not just standing here printing all day, I have more sway. I can chat to customers more. And, you know, if someone comes to me with a design that's not really going to translate well as a screen print or something, I've got the ability to be like, you know, why don't we change this a little bit, or like put this here or that? And then they, you know, 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, actually, yeah, that look a lot better. And I'll do them a proof, or I'll do them a sample, and they're like, actually, yeah, I'm not happy with that, you know.
Of course, you do like proofs and samples and all sorts.
Yeah, we do samples, and like, because a lot we get, you know what it's like. You'll get someone being like, can I get 1 t-shirt, but you know, if this blows up, I'm going to order 100.
Yeah, I know it.
Like,
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that before today.
Like, yeah, cool. Yeah, I haven't heard that in the last hour. I was like, yes, I will do you a sample, but if you need to pay a screen setup as well, so I'm not completely wasting my time. Pay the screen setup as a deposit, so that when you do put this big order in of 100, you can have that back. Sort of thing.
And you got to keep your face straight, like when you do put the 100.
Yeah, when these 100 t-shirts come in, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you're just gonna like guide the right audience to you through posting like what you like on Instagram and TikTok.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So you can kind of curate it a bit.
Yeah, I'm really bad at the Instagram. Like, there's a lot of it is like me and Adam will be in here churning stuff out, and then it'll go through, and I'm like, oh shit, I should have taken a picture of that one. Like, that'd have been cool. Yeah. But I try to, like, you know, I try and post as regular as I can.
No, it's basically like you're using it like a portfolio rather than yeah.
You know, because it's like, it is like pulling teeth sometimes, because I like watch the followers come in, and it's like for every 3 followers you get, you lose 2. It's a bit like, you know, why am I trying to push this so much? But we have got a lot from it, and like, you know, some of the jobs visually aren't interesting, and people don't want to see like a name number on the back of a shirt, you know. So yeah, try and post the cool ones. And then in here as well, I have like, if there's a design that I particularly like, I will like purposely do a test print, put it through the wash, stick it on the wall, because we have that open window of like people walking in and like walking past and seeing the print happening, and then seeing all these like amazing designs that we've done all over. And it's like, yeah. It
sounds like you're coming at it from like the craft and the art, instead of I'm going to try and like find someone to interview who's just coming at it from a pure money perspective, as screen print earns them money. They don't give a shit about the craft and the art and all that, because I think it's an interesting, like, it would be like interesting to see their perspective on anything, because we talk quite passionately about like, okay, I made my own exposure unit. Like, we used to have an exposure unit that rolled underneath the bed. Like that's kind of like the punk kind of roots, and then we've kind of been pushed into the, actually we're directors of a company, we have to be a bit more professional, but we don't have to go really sterile the other way.
I think you'll be hard pressed to find a screen printer that's like, you know, just for the money these days. We'd all, you know, listening to the other episodes as well, and it's like, you know, it's really nice hearing what other people are up to as well, like in the other shops. Like, you know, obviously listen to Shirt Show and stuff in America, but it's like seeing what all the screen printers are here up to, and it is all just like a bunch of punks, bunch of art punks.
I know. I'm like, I don't even know what you guys look like until you send me your pictures sometimes. Like, I might be chatting to someone for like 6 months on Instagram, but they never post their picture, and I'm like, oh yeah, we all look the same. Like,
we're all covered in tattoos.
All the boys have beards, and so that's really funny.
Yeah, but I think it's a good, a lot of passionate people in screen printing.
Yeah, nice. I might have to find someone from DTG instead, and then get like as a good reflection So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's nice to have the contrast. I'm trying to get some art printers as well to see how screen print's used in other ways, which is quite interesting. Yeah, it's really cool. Are there any other people who you'd want to see like interviewed?
Have you interviewed my mate Jack yet over at Ouroboros?
No, how do you spell Ouroboros?
So it's Jack and Annabelle. So that I used to work for them one day a week when I first started here. I was sort of part-time at both. They've moved to Bury now. So Jack and Annabelle, and honestly, I might have to write it down because it's like Ouroboros, I think.
I'm so dyslexic. One more time.
Ouroboros, I think.
How do they get customers? How do you say that? Yeah, it's Ouroboros, and you're like,
Ouroboros.
like, whoosh, like straight over your head.
Yeah,
I know, that's funny. Okay,
they're doing really
Ouroboros.
well, though. They've like upgraded
okay.
all automatic and stuff down there, and like they've got I'm gonna hopefully go and visit them next week. And
nice, cool.
Yeah.
It'll be on my radar then for the interview. Yeah. I'm trying to get Monster Press. I don't know why. I'm so like. It's just that they said, "Oh no, maybe later," and then I'm like, I want it now because it's kind of like having something off the menu that's like run out. You're like,
have you interviewed Joe Stafford yet? Well, Nice Prince.
Joe Stafford. I feel like her name comes up.
She did used Prince of the People. She was Prince of the People, and then when they all sort of like went their separate ways, she does Well Nice Prince and does like poster printing and flatbread stuff in Norwich.
I remember the name really well, so that's probably what it was from.
Yeah.
Well Nice Prince. Cool. Yeah, it should be really interesting because I'd love to know. It's kind of heartbreaking that studio going down because it was a big location. It was important for lots of artists. So
yeah.
Don't want to like poke at a wound, but I would like to also know like.
I mean, I think interesting to see what she's doing now as well because I'm following them and they're like doing similar sort of stuff, but more the kind of less of the workshop type tutorial stuff and more of like the we are a print
pure
service.
art. Yeah. Using your own skills.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for those.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I've got to build the network out even more.
Yeah.
I'm sending you a shirt to say thanks.
Nice.
So that should be there in a couple of days.
Lovely. Thank you.
No problem. And really appreciate having you on.
Cool.
That's really cool.
I'm going to go to my first trade show in April, so I'll probably catch up with you there.
You're going to Printway, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what day you're going? Because I don't yet, but
probably go on the Sunday.
On a Sunday, okay. Right, I'll look out for you. You'll be the bearded one with the tattoos.
Oh yeah. Cool. And then next time you're in Norwich, swing by, have coffee or something.
Awesome, will do. That's really cool. Right. Really good to meet you as well.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers. Bye.